Hi everyone. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to give name to the benzene and its derivatives. So as you can see at the learning outcomes, in the end of this topic, you should know how to draw the structure and name the benzene derivatives according to the IUPAC nomenclature. So we have monosubstituted benzene, disubstituted benzene, and tri and tetra substituted benzene. Now, these three will have different ways of nomenclature. So we'll see about that later. And then for learning outcome B, which means in the end you have to know how to apply IUPAC rules to name compounds with phenyl or benzyl as substituent. So without wasting our time, let's proceed. Okay, so here we have this is a monosubstituted benzene. Maksudnya dia hanya ada satu substituent sahaja. So as you can see, we have for example here, we have fluorine with benzene, we have chlorine with benzene, bromine with benzene, and nitro with benzene. So for this one, okay, you have to know that whenever you see a structure like this, the benzene will become the parent name. Okay, and therefore, this one will be named as fluorobenzene. Okay, this one will be named as fluorobenzene. So this one is also easy. This one will be named as chlorobenzene. This one will be named as bromobenzene. And this one we will name it as nitrobenzene. Easy, right? So NO2 we name it as nitro. Very easy. Let's directly go to this one. Okay, now this part for this one, the benzene ring, we still have the mono substituent. However, what happened here is that the benzene ring and the substituent are combined to form a new parent name. So what is the meaning of it? Okay, now let's take a look for the first example. So this one, according to the IUPAC, we are going to name it as methyl benzene, right? Okay, we're going to get named as methyl benzene. However, there are some exceptions, like for all these 6 here that you can see, where the whole structure will be regarded as parent chain. Okay, include the substituent to become the parent chain. So instead of giving the methyl benzene is actually the IUPAC name. Okay, so the scientists create what we call as common name. So CH3 with benzene, also known as toluene. Okay, so the blue one, okay, this is what we call common name. Okay, common name. So later on, I will show you how this common name will become the parent chain. Okay, so whenever you see CH3 with benzene, okay, then the other name for it is toluene. Okay, now like this one, okay, like this one. Of course, if I ask you to name it in IUPAC way, you're going to name this as hydroxybenzene. Because when OH become substituent, we call it hydroxy. So hydroxybenzene. But the common name for overall is phenol. So this one I think you guys familiar with because you have seen before. I explained to you in chapter 4. Okay, so we call this phenol. Now NH2, okay, NH2 with benzene, we call it as aniline. Okay, aniline. Okay, how about COOH with benzene? So for this one, the common name or the new parent name is benzoic acid. Benzoic acid. Okay. And then here we have here aldehyde. Okay, we have C double bond O, which is aldehyde, which is aldehyde and benzene ring. Okay, so for aldehyde and benzene ring, we call it as earthy. Okay, so aldehyde with benzene ring, this one we call as benzaldehyde. Okay, which is you have the ring and directly attached to C double bond O, the carbonyl, but ended with H. This is actually for aldehyde, so we name it benzaldehyde. And the last one is this. This one is actually ketone. Okay, ketone where instead like this one is aldehyde, right? But this one is ketone because C double bond O and then connected with another alkyl group. Okay, and directly attached to benzene ring. So this one we call it as acetophenone. Okay, this one is acetophenone. Right. So guys, this is a very important thing. You have to know the common name. Awak memang kena tahu semua common name. So, tapi tak banyak. Okay, salah satu yang paling penting antaranya adalah 6 ini. Later on, I will give you some other list where benzene and its substituent become the new parent chain. Okay? Okay, now let's proceed with benzene that has 2 substituents. Now, as I mentioned before, when the benzene has 2 substituents or 3 or 4 or 1, they have different way of naming it. Okay, so for disubstituted benzene, the way we are going to name them is by using the prefixes ortho, meta, and para. And the abbreviations we always use O, M, and P. Okay, indicating ortho, meta, and para. So what is ortho? Ortho is basically referring to the location of 1, 2 carbon. Meta is for 1, 3 and para is for 1, 4. Okay, so how are we going to use these prefixes into the naming? Okay, now let's see the first case, which is we have the same substituent group. Now, as you can see here, for bromine, okay, for bromine will not be, usually we don't use halogen to be included together as a parent chain. Okay, so in this case, the parent chain is 100% our benzene ring. Okay, it's 100% our benzene ring. Now, we have 2 substituents here, so we can say that this is first carbon and this is the second carbon. Okay, so or vice versa. Vice versa means you can also indicate like this. This one will be carbon number 1 or this one will be carbon number 2. Boleh, no problem. Okay, so how are we going to name this? Now I will start by using the IUPAC name first, which is we are going to name it as 1,2-dibromobenzene. Okay, now since the location is 1, 2, so 1, 2, the prefixes for 1, 2 is ortho. So we can also give name as ortho-dibromobenzene. Or we can also write O-dibromobenzene. So whenever you see O, you know, oh, these ones are referring to the carbon number 1 and carbon number 2, where the benzene where the bromine located to those carbons. Okay, now for this one, okay, if we see, this one will be carbon number 1, carbon number 2, and carbon number 3. So 1, 3, okay, will be represented by meta. So we can write it like this: 1, 3 dibromobenzene, or meta-dibromobenzene or M-dibromobenzene. Okay, this one. And same thing goes to this. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. We can get 1,4-dibromobenzene or para-dibromobenzene or P-dibromobenzene. Okay, yeah, there you go. So this is how we use the ortho, meta, para in the nomenclature. Now let's proceed with the second case. Now we have here OH and OH. As I told you before, benzene with OH, okay, benzene with OH will be known as phenol. Okay, will be known as phenol. So this will be the parent chain. And since this one will be the parent chain, okay, so actually you can choose any OH because they are just the same. Okay, say I'm choosing this is the parent chain. Okay, say this is the parent chain. Therefore, my carbon number 1 will be this. Okay, if you choose this OH as together with the benzene to be the parent chain, therefore that OH will be carbon number 1. So this is carbon number 2 and this is carbon number 3. This one will be substituent. Okay, this one will be substituent. So we will name this as 3-hydroxyphenol. Sorry, 3-hydroxyphenol. Or we are going to name it as, okay, because both of the OH is 1,3, we are going to name it as meta-hydroxyphenol. So meta-hydroxyphenol, we know it must be M-hydroxyphenol. We know the location is 1,3. Or we can name it as M-hydroxyphenol. And now let's take a look at the second example. Okay, we have CH3 and CH3. Let's say, so CH3 together with benzene is known as toluene. Okay, it's known as toluene. Now let's number them. This one will be carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3, and carbon number 4. So 1, 4, the same substitute, which is CH3. So we will name them as 4. Oops, sorry. Okay, we will name them as 4-methyl-toluene, or we are going to name it as para-methyl-toluene or P-methyl-toluene. Okay, no need to dot. Alright, so there you go for para. Now how about if you guys try to do this question first? You can pause the video and try to do it and then get to the answer. Now for this, okay, this is the parent chain. So NO2 with benzene, the name will be aniline. Okay, so when we number it, this one will be carbon number 1. So therefore this one will be carbon number 2. So our answer here is 2-nitroaniline. Okay, it should be 2-nitroaniline or ortho-nitroaniline or O-nitroaniline. So basically, whenever one day you get the question, draw M-hydroxyphenol, draw P-methyl-toluene. So you know P should be representing the location of 1,4. Toluene should be CH3 with benzene. So the CH3 will be number 1 and the other methyl should be at number 4. So that's how you name it. Okay. Now let's take a look at this case. This case is when you have benzene with 2 different substituent groups. So which one will be together as the parent chain? Now when it comes to this, you have to know the priority of the substituent. Okay, so this is the list we have given to you in your chemistry awesome notes. So we have a few substituent. This is a common substituent that is used. Now, for example, if you have benzene with COOH and OH, and you know if it's with OH, it will be phenol. If it's with COOH, it will be benzoic acid. And you have to choose only one. So in that case, we are going to choose this COOH to be together in the benzene ring as parent chain. Okay, so maybe how about if we look at the example? Okay, now, so we have here CH3 and Cl. So which one will be the parent chain? So if we look here at the list, halogen is at the bottom, okay, and then alkyl group is upper than halogen group. Therefore, in this example, CH3 will be included with benzene ring as the parent chain. And we know its name should be toluene. Okay, next we have this one will be carbon number 1. Definitely it will directly be carbon number 1, and our chlorine will be carbon number 2. So we are going to name it as 2-chlorotoluene. Okay, 2-chlorotoluene. Or if it's 1,2, we are going to name it as orthochlorotoluene or O-chlorotoluene. Okay, this one. Oops, sorry. Now let's take a look at the second example. How about if you try this? Okay, how about if you try this? So, as you can see, we have OH and NO2. Let's take a look at the list. COH and NO2. We have our our OH is here, and our NO2 is down here. So the priority will be OH. So this is it. It will be named as phenol. So this will be your carbon number 1, this will be your carbon number 2, and this will be carbon number 3. So 1, 3 will be represented by meta. So we will write 3 nitrophenol. Okay, need nitrophenol or meta nitrophenol or M nitrophenol. Okay, and lastly we have this one, NH2NCl. So let's see if NH2NCl. Okay, we have NH2 here and Cl as your halogen. So therefore NH2 will be taken as priority to be together with the parent chain. So this is it. So this one will be carbon number 1, 2, 3, and this one will be carbon number 4. And therefore we name this, before that, NH2 with benzene, we call it aniline. So we have 4-chloro. We are going to name this as this 4-chloroaniline or para-chloroaniline or p-chloroaniline. Okay, p-chloroaniline. So how about if you try the rest of these three? You can pause this video first, try to do it, and then look at the answer. Okay, so let's see. So between COOH and NO2, if you refer here, okay, we have COOH and we also have NO2. So COOH will be the parent chain. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, so this one will be carbon number 1, carbon number 2, and carbon number 3. Therefore, the name will be 3-nitrobenzoic acid or meta-nitrobenzoic acid or M-nitrobenzoic acid. Okay, next one we have NH2 and alkyl group. Okay, so this is interesting because both of them at the lower part. So we have alkyl group and also NH2. Therefore, NH2 is upper than alkyl group. So our parent chain here will be this. Okay, with numbering 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the substituent here is ethyl. Okay, ethyl. And therefore, we are going to name it as 4-ethyl aniline or, sorry, not meta, para. Because number 4, right? Para-ethyl aniline or p-ethyl aniline. Okay, that's it. And lastly, this one we have CHO and bromine. So let's take a look. CHO, where it is? Yeah, we have this CHO. Okay, and we have the other one is, what is the other one? The other one is bromine. Oops, sorry. So bromine is halogen group here. So CHO will be our parent chain together with the parent chain. So this will be your parent chain. It will be carbon number 1, carbon number 2, and carbon number 3. So it will be 3-bromobenzaldehyde. Okay, or meta-bromobenzaldehyde or M-bromobenzaldehyde. Okay, there you go. All right, there you go. This is how to name the benzene derivative when it has two different substituents. Okay, now let's take a look at benzene derivatives with 3 substitution. Okay, now when the benzene has 3 substituent, what we can do here is that we are going to number the benzene ring will be numbered to give the lowest possible numbers to the substituent, just like how we give name to the alkane before, which is we try to give the lowest possible numbers as possible. However, when different substituents are present, okay, they are listed in alphabetical order. Okay, they are still listed in alphabetical order, and we still consider the highest priority. So I'm going to explain about this point later on. So let's take a look. Okay, let's take a look at the example that we have here. Okay, for example, we have this bromine. Okay, we have 3 bromine. So how can we locate the number to this structure? Okay, now let's make a trial first. Okay, so maybe kita boleh letak sini 1, 2, 3, 4. Ataupun this one will be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. Okay, with 5. Or we can use this as number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So if we refer to the number 1, we are going to get 1, 3, and 4. We focus on the blue one, we are going to get 1, 2, 5. And if we focus on the green one, 1, 2, 4. So which one is the best numbering that we can use? So usually, like my tips, I will sum all the number, like 4 plus 3 plus 1 is equal to 8. And then for the blue one, we are going to get 5, 6, 7, 8 as well. And for the green one, we are going to get it 7. So as you can see, the sum, the lowest sum is the green one. Therefore, our numbering will be this one. Okay, our numbering will be this one. So how are we going to name it? Okay, for this one, we are not going to use orthopara. Orthopara meta is only when you have 2 substituent only. So this one is just like how we named the alkane before. Since this is bromine, we don't have the, what we call this parent chain. So we have 1, 2, 4, tribromo benzene. Okay, so this one. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, now in this example, we have 3 substituents. Okay, we have 3 substituents. We have bromine, chlorine, and N2O, which is nitro. So since they are different, we have to take a look. We have to consider the priority. So since we have NO2 and halogen, the priority is NO2. Therefore, this one will be carbon number 1. Okay, this one will be carbon number 1. So try to locate the other 2 substituents as lowest as possible, and therefore we are going to get these 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Okay, for these questions, so let's identify the parent chain will be this. And this will be your carbon number 1. So for this structure, either is it clockwise or anti-clockwise, it will give the same numbering, which is 3 to bromine or 3 to bromo. So for a question like this or a structure like this, since either clockwise or anti-clockwise will have the same number, therefore you consider the alphabet. So in this case, we have bromo and we have chloro. So we will prioritize bromo here. And therefore, our numbering will be 2, 3, 4, and 5. So our naming here will be 3 bromo, 5 chloro, okay, 5 chloro, nitro, benzene. Okay, so here it is. Then let's proceed with these questions. Again, identify which one will be the parent chain. So of course it will be this, which is toluene. So our numbering will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So our naming will be 2,4-dichlorotoluene. Okay, you can try the other first, and then you stop first, and then you can play later. Try to do it first. So for this, of course, the priority, obviously, the COOH. So this one will be number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Also, it will be the same if you do it anti-clockwise. So we are going to have this one. And lastly will be this one. So the parent chain will be this, together with OH. So it will be phenol. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we will give name 2,4-dinitrophenol. Okay. Now how about if benzene becomes substituent? So what is the condition that will make benzene become a substituent? Now the first condition is when it has other functional groups. Okay, so benzene ring kira dia macam paling kalah antara semua. So whenever there are the other functional group, therefore benzene ring will not become benzene parent chain, but it will become substituent. Second one, if the chain contains 6 or more carbon atoms. So let's see. Now, for example, in these questions, we have a very long chain here. So our long chain here is actually this, okay, where actually the number will be, okay, the numbering will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is heptane, and our benzene ring is located at carbon number 2. So we are going to name it as 2-phenyl. When benzene ring becomes substituent, it will be phenyl. 2-phenyl heptane. Okay. Now let's take a look at this. Okay, we have this one, and it has alkene. We have double bond, and we have benzene ring. So automatically benzene ring will become the substituent. So this one will be carbon number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So obviously this is butene. And how we name it? 1-phenyl 2-butene. Okay, 1-phenyl 2-butene. Okay, now this one. This is very short, but it has other functional group, which is hydroxyl. So this is actually we are going to get ethanol. So this is carbon number 1. This is carbon. Oh no, sorry. The priority is our priority now is this. So this one will be carbon number 1. This one will be carbon number 2. So we will name it as 2-phenyl ethanol. Okay, 2-phenyl ethanol. And okay, finally benzyl group. So benzyl is when you have this benzene ring and then attached with CH2 and then functional group. Okay, so this is referring to the benzyl. So whenever you see something like this benzyl, then you will have to start to name it with benzyl first. So like for example, the first one, This one we are going to name it as benzyl alcohol. Okay, this one will be benzyl alcohol because we have OH. This one is named as benzyl chloride because we have Cl there. And this one is benzyl NH2. It is amine. So benzyl amine. Okay. Well, there you go. How to name the benzyl group. So let's take a look at the exercise. How about if you try to do it first and then you see the answer, okay? So here we have benzene as parent chain. So we draw it first. Okay. And then isopropyl. So you can put anywhere because only one substituent. So it will be CH3, CH3. So this is isopropyl benzene. Okay, next one B, 2-phenyl ethanol. So 2-phenyl ethanol, the parent chain here is ethanol. So we draw ethanol, CH3, CH2, OH. So basically this is ethanol. However, we have phenyl as substituent there. So of course you're only going to have one hydrogen. Okay, and the benzyl, I think I get it wrong. This is carbon number 1. So it should be here. Okay. So this one will be having 2 hydrogen only. And we have the substituent here. So this is 2-phenyl ethanol. Okay. Next. P-chlorotoluene. So our parent chain here is toluene. So draw toluene first. Okay, so if we draw toluene, we are going to get it like this. Okay, now P-chloro, P which means it is the location of 1, 2. 1, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, chlorine is here. But when you draw, please erase that back so you get the proper P-chlorotoluene. And lastly, D, we have our parent chain, which is benzoic acid, and we have 2,3,5,6 tetranitrobenzoic acid. So start by drawing benzoic acid first, which is COOH. Like this. So we have 4 nitro. You can locate it at carbon number 2. Before that, let's give number to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 2 nitro. At number 3 we have nitro as well. At number 5 we have nitro as well. And at number 6 also we have nitro. Make it nice, delete back this one. So this is 2,3,5,6 tetranitrobenzoic acid. Nice. Okay, next one. Give name to the IUPAC name here. So for this 2A, we have two functional groups. So this one will be parent chain. This is actually ethene. Okay, so if we give numbering, we are going to get 1, 2. And therefore, we can write 1 phenyl ethene. Okay, 1 phenyl ethene. And then next one will be this. Okay, be careful with this one. Okay, be careful with this. So this one we have here 1, 2, 3, 4. It is not more than 6. So therefore, this alkyl group cannot become parent chain. So our parent chain is, yeah, this one. So we are going to put this as carbon number 1. Identify what alkyl group is this. Okay, so actually this is isobutyl. So we are going to name it as isobutyl benzene. So there you go. Therefore, that's it for the naming of benzene.